something like that. And then irritable bowel syndrome. He also says, I have a history of irritable bowel syndrome. This is the medical history. Now, with this medical history, now your presenting adverse event is diarrhea. Can you infer anything? Do you like to connect any dots here? He says he has history of irritable bowel syndrome and now he presents with diarrhea. Okay, so now you can think, like, based on the medical history, this diarrhea which the patient had today could be due to his pre-existing medical condition of irritable bowel syndrome, right? You can correlate this with his irritable bowel syndrome. Now you have to put forward more questions to him. In the next follow up, you can ask, like, do you have, this is the first time you're getting diarrhea, or do you have diarrhea often? Okay, so if he says, no, I get diarrhea like 2, 3 times a week, something like that, and this is the first time, like today I just took your medication, and you can also ask how long you've been taking the medication. He says, no, just today I took the medication, but I get diarrhea even if I don't take your medication. I have been getting diarrhea. Okay, this is about his past trends. So, based on these trends, I would assess that this event, diarrhea, whatever he has reported, is not related to our event and it is related to his past medical history of irritable bowel syndrome. Do you get this? Okay, how do we assess the causality? This is, we are assessing the causality with the, not only, I am just assessing with one parameter. You cannot take one parameter. Depending on the case, you can take a different parameters and assess the causality. Okay, now I have assessed it based on the medical history. Now you can also assess based on the clinical scenario. A patient is reporting that he was walking on the sidewalk. He took our drug in the, he took the suspect drug in the morning, and then he was walking on the sidewalk and he fell down. Okay, and he sustained uh, humerus fracture. Now, the adverse event, and he was hospitalized for the humerus fracture and he had undergone some treatment. Now, the adverse event reported to you is humerus fracture. Now, you will ask for his, again, you should ask for his medical history, how long he's been taking your drug, and what is the clinical scenario which happened during the time of the event, which means how did you get humerus fracture? Okay, now he will report, like, I was walking on the sidewalk and suddenly I lost balance and I fell down and sustained humerus fracture. Now, with this clinical scenario, we come to a kind of conclusion that because the patient fell, he was walking on a sidewalk, and because he fell, he sustained humerus fracture. Okay, so our medication is nothing to do with his humerus fracture. And to add to that, you can also ask his past, please provide your past medical history. If he is an old patient, now I'm guessing that this patient age is above 60, you can ask his past medical history. And in medical history, he gives history of postural imbalance, like he has some illnesses with postural imbalance like parkinsonism or alzheimer's. And now he says, like, I was walking, I lost balance and fell and I had humerus fracture. Now you can strongly tell that this patient already has posture disorder, like he has parkinsonism, and he was walking on a sidewalk and he lost his control, fell, and he sustained fracture. So this humerus fracture was caused due to fall, and that fall was caused due to postural disturbance, which happened due to his pre-existing medical condition of Parkinson's. And it is hence this humerus fracture is not related to our company drug. Okay, do you get it? How do we assess? So depending on the case, we have to investigate more, ask more questions to get the past medical history, or what is the scenario happened at the time. Or like you can look into a database of is there repeated adverse event, the same adverse event is happening repeatedly to this particular suspect drug. So based on all this criteria, we can assess the causality. This is how we do